We're going to talk today about Binance and also the other exchange tokens that could still go up. So hi everyone, welcome to the channel. If you are new, make sure you've subscribed, hit the bell button, leave a like and a comment now. FOMO tendencies. I've been tweeting about this for a number of days now, a little bit of a joke going, this is what FOMO looks like, this is what price discovery looks like, this is what blue sky breakouts look like, okay? On the screen. So, let's explain a few things before we delve into the other exchange tokens. But first, before we get on, I've made something new, basically a newsletter. So if you want to jump in, I'll leave a link in the top line so you can just subscribe and you can see a bit more of me in terms of this brain onto paper. Always fun to see. So we do need to analyze this in terms of why this is important now. A number of my videos, I talk quite a lot about Metcalfe's law, network of people, and exchanges is the obvious one. People want to buy cryptocurrency, they've got a place to go. There's also multiple places to go, which we will talk about. Some coins that I do believe will carry on going up, even if Binance slows down a little bit, because there's obviously different dynamics here. Location settings, types of coins, fee structure, and also ease. Very, very hard to get in Binance right now. If you're a new person, I do apologize. Yes, there's a link in my top line of description if you want to get involved in Binance, but getting through the KYC can be somewhat of a nightmare, which is why I do recommend others, because it is easier. So, in terms of price analysis, we need to wait for this candle to close, see if it is the retracement. It looks like an exertion. It looks like the end of the run at the moment. Everything goes up. Some things keep going up, but obviously everything does come down as well. So remember, in your head, mindset is key. So let's analyze a few things first, right? One I want to look at, and the obvious, is web traffic for exchange tokens, right? Not so much for the tokens, but for the exchange itself. Yes, they have tokens involved for the fee structure, which is fine for the economy. The biggest and obvious thing is here. How do we just debunk this? Now, one thing's for sure, there is a lot less exchanges back then than there was compared to now. Obviously, there's a few more out there, fewer spread. Obviously, more and more people know what Bitcoin is, what cryptocurrency is, so there may be less search record. As you can see, the searches are lower as well if you look at this right-hand side. So even for the Bitcoin name, everyone knows about Bitcoin, but obviously the Ethereum's obviously gone up, like the Coinbase as well, maybe not as influential. Uniswap's obviously gone to the moon, and obviously NFTs just out this world. Obviously, we can't really draw upon the past. But this gives me that kind of echoing feeling that I feel that we've still got more people to give, in my opinion. I think we've still got more to give, essentially, in terms of people getting involved in the space. Why web traffic is lower than what it has been in the past. That parabolic, crazy phrase. When we think now more people know about cryptocurrency, it's easier to technically get involved because there's more exchanges. There's more clarity and regulations in certain countries for you to go on and get into certain exchange currencies. And then you've obviously got ease of use. It's a lot easier now than what it was back then. So are we still at that kind of shift period where it could go crazy? I think so. I think as the price will increase, more people want to get involved. That nature, that greed mentality. So let's talk about some coins. So first one is obvious, right? Binance, right? Now, I'm not recommending you to buy this, but I want you to understand the structure of how this works. Binance have a lot of mechanisms in terms of utility, and so does every single coin that I basically feature in terms of this. And they're very, very similar ilk. You are basically going to be backing the underdog if you want to invest in an exchanged currency. I invest in 2 of these just to make it known. It was 3. I've sold one of them. But fundamentals are simple. Metcalfe's law of networks, study it, understand that it works in cryptocurrency. Why? Utility and exchange tokens are simple. Fee structure, you save money on fees. 1. DeFi, to earn a living stake amount on locked up tokens. That is utility. 3. General use, buying and selling of the token. Obvious. So there's 3 obvious ones, but the more people doing those 3 activities, for example, go for it. You can obviously do other things on Binance as well, which is also important, the Binance chain. However, that is scary. $87 billion it is worth. So let's look at the second best one that I feel will probably go up in value. It's the obvious one, crypto.com. Sorry, I know, it's easy, but I feel that this is undervalued. Yes, it's had some issues. The volume is nowhere near as big because it's never going to be exchange listed on their rivals, for example, Binance. But they have a very, very big user base. They have a very, very big staking platform now as well. They've also got some pretty good advertising distribution. They always have had great marketing, probably one of the best marketing teams in the space. However, that being said, probably one of the worst support teams ever I've seen. You know, they had a massive PR disaster in terms of when they changed things in the summer. The price obviously was affected by that. Even in a market of an alt season push in DeFi, they missed out lots, in my opinion. They've done a fee burn recently in terms of like the token burn. Essentially, they've changed a lot of the structure. They've improved massively, right? You know, you've got to learn from your mistakes, and they have. They are an Aston Martin F1 sponsor, one of their main title sponsors. So in terms of the car, you see a lot on TV. So marketing, they're up there, but I still think undervalued if you are comparing it to the likes of Binance. This has a lot of tokens on it. This has a lot of, you know, ability to earn on an app, very, very easy. And it's also very, very easy to buy and withdraw using the app. That's important. So if we're looking for people getting to the market, chances are Crypto.com is probably going to be pretty high on their list, and I do feel that will grow. And yes, we've had, as I mentioned, this massive depreciation of the asset essentially, but it's now growing up. But it's not too far away from the previous all-time high, and Bitcoin is a lot higher in price in USD, and most importantly, there's a lot less tokens now, so that's important. The next one, Voyager, for you US fans out there and people in Canada and whatnot, Voyager. I used to have this. I sold it because for me, there was no point me realistically holding because I couldn't get utility out of it. Yes, as an investment, great. Made a good chunk of money on it, but I do rate it a lot. I think the founders, and in terms of how they've kind of re-energized it totally, because they've basically bought it out. Well, not so much the founders, but the owners essentially now have made this a much better asset than what it was. So if you don't know the history of this, it was bought out not recently. When was it bought out? Let me have a little look. It was taken over. Here we go. Founder of Lightspeed Financial and the former CEO of E-Trade, basically. So they bought it out and totally changed it. Redone it all compared to what it was in the past. And it's probably one of the top exchanges in the US right now. And, you know, value appreciation is kind of showing it. Very, very simple, that. And that's the one thing about it that I like. It is very, very similar to all the other ones I kind of mentioned in terms of the ability to earn money, token utility, ease of access, utility usage on fee structure as well, which is always important. Now, the next one, another one, we're not quite, I don't think we're quite there yet in terms of basically shitcoin season. Now, KuCoin normally, most of the time, list coins before the big boys. So this is like a tier 2 exchange essentially. They list a lot of random tokens. Now, people like random meme coins, don't they, boys and girls? Well, this is a place to buy it, and we've seen a huge value appreciation. And this is why I'm thinking this could go up even more. When we think about it, Binance and KuCoin, very, very similar sort of identification. They look very, very similar if you're using the exchange as well, in my opinion. There's a lot of things that look very, very similar, right? But $1.4 billion in the market cap versus $87 billion, right? So there's a massive, massive, massive difference there in price, but also the same sort of utility. Again, you can save on the fees. Boom, happy days. You can also earn on this platform and buy coins that you will probably want to buy, but you don't really want to use Uniswap. So again, you're looking at that. Could be very, very interesting. In my opinion, very, 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 very easy to use as well. The next one, and this is in the top line of my description, SwissBorg. Now, this is the one that I think is mega undervalued in my opinion. Now, again, if you want to get some free tokens, there's a link below. No real benefit for me other than a scratch card. Yay. I usually make €2, give or take. But when we look at the volume metrics of this is on very, very small amount of exchanges, which is kind of interesting, right? They use the majority of it on their own platform. Growing up nicely. The staking reward is probably one of the best in the industry as it stands for me, in my opinion, because it's an aggregator of 5 different places and it gives you the best version using the smart contracts, so the likes of Aave, Compound, you got Binance as well in terms of how they use it, Uniswap, all those, right? Curve, another one. So you can get some good passive income, but in terms of the app, probably the easiest to use. I've never seen, now I signed up to this about 6 months ago, right? Very, very quick and easy. Even when I was doing my new level of authentication to kind of get my account up to the next level, because I went a bit too high on it, oops, it took literally 5 minutes in a busy period. Now, I'm probably pretty confident that I would never get that on Binance if I had to do my identification again. So give them credit there. That is a good thing. We want to be quick and easy, especially for withdrawals as well. 30 seconds into your UK bank, pretty awesome. But as an exchange, that's its primary use. It's an exchange. It's a place to buy and sell and invest. If you go on their website, it is very, very clear of what they are aiming to do. And I think it's undervalued. There's not as many tokens on here, obviously. It's not as many exchanges for you to buy the underlying asset. But with people, with struggle, if Binance goes down, they're going to look at alternatives. And I think SwissBorg will definitely be one, certainly in Europe, that will be used quite a lot. And I do think it's undervalued. Now, the last one is somewhat a card. However, it is also an exchange. Now, I've talked about this a lot, Pluton token. It's Plutus in terms of the payment card. Now, it is also, doesn't really show it much on the exchange, or not so much on the exchange, on the website here, but you can exchange your fiat for cryptocurrency assets, Ethereum basically, or the Pluton token. You can connect it up with your MetaMask, right, which is important. It's decentralized, right? So yes, you can put your UK sort and account number in, move it over very, very quickly within a matter of a couple of minutes. But the fundamental underlying thing about this is decentralization. Bitcoin is coming very, very soon for you to purchase Bitcoin, and they've got their own wallet coming out as well. So it's going to increase that decentralized factor. It's going to become very, very similar to how crypto.com is in terms of their DeFi decentralized wallet. So when we talk about that in terms of market cap of this could be the easiest way to buy Bitcoin in the future if things get really crazy. Very, very easy to do through a bank card and stuff like that. But the underlying thing with this, it's only $7.8 million in market cap, with a lot of information all over the website. If you press on the listing button here, it gives you a full blown description and video of how it all works and stuff like that. And I've mentioned this a few times. You've got all this kind of good stuff, and yes, you can use it as a decentralized platform to transfer into Bitcoin and crypto and their token. Their token is absolutely brilliant. Why? Because when you look at the token, I think I've got it down here, there we go. Most of it is locked up and away for rewards. Most of it. So for you to use your spends on the card essentially and use the actual token to actually kind of mitigate some fees, guess what? You're going to get rewarded for it. You're going to get rewarded 3% in the token, and it's totally optional. You can get it for free if you're under £250 per expenditure in terms of every month. So that's important. But for me, when we're looking at exchanges, this is a medium of exchange as well, using your bank into cryptocurrency assets. So I feel that these lot are going to probably go up in price due to certain things. And I think that certain element is we're not at that parabolic pandemonium stage yet. May feel like it, but it doesn't. If we're continuously growing, but we haven't had that woof period where for a month it might go mental. But we'll see what happens. But that is my overall opinion, not financial advice here. But I've always maintained this. If you've watched my channel for a period of years now, always hold some sort of exchange token. They usually reward pretty well, whether that is Binance, whether that's KuCoin, whether that is crypto.com, SwissBorg, Pluton, whoever it may be. You got all kinds of options here of a steady earner in the market. Again, obviously bear markets, you may want to think this tactic out again, but buy low, sell high. Why not? People will increase prices of anything. It's called demand.